You can frame it however you want to, and I understand what they're trying to do, but this is reminiscent of what the Marlins did a decade plus ago. I'm sorry.
No, it is. And anybody who's trying to tell you it's not a fire sale, my gosh, stop being gaslit.
Yeah.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We've got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard fan who vividly remembers Longo's Game 162 just like us,
or you remember the early Devil Ray days of Wade Boggs or Carl Crawford,
well, we're here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 6th season covering the Rays daily.
And every season they've gone to the playoffs, hopefully again, but probably not in 2024. So grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays.
This episode is brought to you by SupplyHouse.com, which is the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop for your next plumbing, HVAC, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. You know what, Kevin, I think the Rays might have some deal with SupplyHouse because they're shipping people from coast to coast. My goodness. Goodbye, Randy. Goodbye, Zach. Goodbye, Jason. Goodbye, Isaac. My God, what happened this weekend?
Probably goodbye to some others by Tuesday afternoon as well. The Rays did take 2 of 3 from the Reds, so they have that going for them, improving to 53 and 51. But of course, the big news is I don't think I'm brash in calling this a fire sale, as they're dumping payroll like crazy and saving $55 million this year and next year. So you can frame it however you want to, and I understand what they're trying to do, but this is reminiscent of what the Marlins did a decade plus ago. I'm sorry.
No, it is. And anybody who's trying to tell you it's not a fire sale, my gosh, stop being gaslit.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. God, first go to therapy to learn these terms and then don't get gaslit because it is a fire sale. You are taking these pieces away from the team. You are dunking basically on the 2024 season, basically. And I know the whole thing of the seal clappers, we've called them on this podcast before. Oh, look at the return. Look at the prospects. My goodness, we fleeced them. Oh, my God. Can you believe that they fell for that? Oh, that's so crazy. Randy, he never did anything. He's barely a replacement level. Isaac, oh, he's a pull ball guy who the peripherals never say that he's going to be sustainable. Jason Adam, oh, we got him for nothing. And now we got 3 amazing prospects. Zach Eflin, he was getting too expensive. And look at the prospects. These people.
Yeah.
My God, do you know a lot of baseball? You know a lot of statistics. Why do you not say, hey, I understand where they're coming from. I am enthused about the prospects, hopes, and the stuff that they have. But right now, they're not going to make an impact. They might not make an impact in 2026, which is 2 years from now. This team is effectively worse right now than when you started this fire sale.
Yeah. And really, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only player out of, I guess, about a dozen that have been acquired over the past many hours, over the past weekend, is Chris Morel.
Yeah.
And I do like what he can provide and bring to the table.
Sure.
And if we're reading the tea leaves, something that Eric Neander said was, hey, Morel We've been trying to acquire him for some time. We've had our eye on him. We really like what he can do. He's got amazing bat speed, amazing power. He presently plays third base, but he's probably a better fit at second base. That tells me two things. That tells me that Junior Caminero is going to get the call sooner than later, and it tells me Brandon Lau is going to get the boot sooner than later.
Yeah, and the issue there is there's other guys that were vying for that second base. Curtis Meade, Jonathan Aranda. So what is the plan for these folks? Caballero, are you going to be shipped out, or are you going to be replacing Taylor Walls as that backup option? And in that case, Taylor Walls, have you packed your bags? Because it doesn't seem like you're going to be a fit anymore. Like, all these guys are on the hot seat now.
Right.
Because you can only have 26, a 26-man roster. But yeah, look, Christopher Morel does have some pop. The slash line is not going to get you excited whatsoever. Right. But we've grown from that type of fandom where you understand that it's more than the slash line that a player can provide. So yeah, don't get too hung up on the slash line, but it ain't pretty, folks.
Right. Right now, he's hitting 199 with 18 homers, 51 RBI, and a 675 OPS this season. A lot of that has to do with batted ball data not going in his favor. His BABIP is way lower than what it should be, despite the fact that he has really cut his strikeout rate and elevated his walk rate. If we go last year, he hit 247 with 26 homers, 70 RBI, and an 821 OPS. In fact, over the course of his 320 plus big league games, he has over 60 homers. So he legitimately could be a 30 home run dude if he's available in a Rays uniform for 140, 145, 150 games at a clip.
Do you know who was a 30 homer guy and you already knew that he was?
Isaac Paredes.
Boom, bingo. Yeah, it's nice. I hope Christopher Morel can be a guy who can hit me 240 and 30 home runs. We already had that. And we had it in Isaac where already proved it, and way better glove. Folks, Christopher Morel with the glove, it's not Harold Ramirez, but it's Harold Ramirez-like.
Yeah.
It ain't it's like Cafecito Martinez. Like, right. It's
at third anyway. Yeah, it's a situation where, look, I know he's been moved between the infield and outfield. It could be a jack of all trades, master of none, and I think that's why the Rays want to solidify him at one position, whether it's second base or first base or whatever, and try to get him the best he can be at that position. But I think they're going to do whatever they have to do to limit his defensive liabilities and elevate his potential for hitting the ball hard and far. He does have one of the best bat speeds in all of baseball. So, and he's only 25 years old. So I think there is some growth and development going in his way, but it is a gut punch when you trade established major leaguers like Randy, like Zach, like Jason, like Isaac, like probably more. And the one guy that we've kind of heard of is Christopher Morel.
Yeah.
That's what you have.
I said this last week on that bonus episode, which, by the way, thank you so much for you guys responded so great on that episode. Like, it's been one of the highest watched episodes that we did on YouTube. So very, very cool of you guys to support us that way. But yeah, Christopher Morel, I said this, like, it's going to be a guy where, oh yeah, I know where he plays, and that's about it.
That's about it.
Look, it was a disheartening weekend for me, more than baseball reasons.
Right.
But this just I think we should be at a point where we can look at ourselves as a fandom in the mirror and have that honest conversation of 2024. If it happens, it's akin to 2011. Like, it would have to be something that will create a statue at Publix Park. Mm-hmm. Like the turnaround. There would have to be some magic starting now. to go to the playoffs and even be successful at that, because the way things are trending here, it's not great.
The tough schedule and the fact that the Rays, just to reach 89 wins this year, they would have to go 35-21. Even with all those guys that left the team over the last couple of days, it'd still be near impossible to go 35-21.
How many they've traded Randy, Zach, Jason, and Isaac, 4 guys.
And then before that, Phil Maton and Aaron Savali.
Very good. But in let's focus on this weekend. 4 guys out, and you brought in like 12 guys. Out of those 12 guys, how many are going to be making an impact this year?
Morel
3?
and one of the relievers acquired from the Cubs.
Hunter, right?
I believe so. He's going to, quote unquote, factor into the bullpen mix.
And Hunter's going to factor, which is going to be great because the stuff that he has is nasty. But he also has like 5 innings in Major League Baseball, by the way. So it's not like he's a proven commodity either. So it's just tough for the 2024. Now, has this team made themselves better for the future? You'd hope so. You'd hope so. And we've seen them that they know what they do.
Right.
And if you want to know what you can do to get better, try Stitch Fix, people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's going to make you feel so good when you look at yourself in the mirror and say, dang, I look great. Because you can easily upgrade your wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new on-trend favorites that'll work for you. You give them your size, your style, and budget preferences, and they will always send you the just right pieces, and the fit is on point. It's fantastic. And Stitch Fix makes it all easy. You don't have to do the whole shopping thing, time and effort on a weekend. No. They get outfits for you, and they will make you look and feel really, really good. And if you don't love something, hey, guess what? Just send it back. Shipping, returns, and exchange. That's an always easy thing to do. So style that makes you feel as good as you look. Get started at stitchfix.com/MLB and get $20 off your first fix. That's stitchfix.com/MLB for $20 off. stitchfix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Offer does not include kids fixes. You know what doesn't include kids fixes? Trading fan favorites away. 8-year-olds were crying this weekend, most likely.
Yes, they were. We do want to dive into these trades on this segment, but first we want to remind you that you need to make the switch to Locked On Sports Today. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So let me just enlighten me for a second. Let me just run through all the deals, all the players, and we can go from there. So starting with Friday, Randy was traded. Seems like a year ago now with all the other moves that happened in between. Randy was traded to the Mariners for prospects Brody Hopkins, Aiden Smith, and a player to be named later. At this recording, I don't think that player to be named later has been announced. Then you have Zach Eflin, who was traded to the Orioles and cash considerations for Mac Horvath, Jackson Baumeister, and Matthew Etzel. Then you have the Rays trading Jason Adam to the Padres for Dylan Lesko, Homer Bush Jr., and JD Gonzalez, a catching prospect, JD Gonzalez. So we have that going for us. And then Isaac Paredes traded to the Cubs, that's who he began his career with. And in return, the Rays get Chris Morel, Hunter Bidgie, I guess that's how you pronounce his last name, and then Ty Johnson. So out of all these moves, Ulises, which deal did you like the most, and which deal did you like the least?
I think the Jason Adam one, I think it was pretty
a bulky return.
Yeah, look, I think if we go back to the player review that we did, I said that Jason Adam wouldn't be on the opening day roster. And then when he was, I was like, okay, he's getting traded in the deadline. Boom, got him. If it wasn't the first time, it was the second time. In the return, it is pretty gaudy. Homer Bush Jr., which, by the way, already in the running for best name in the organization.
Yes.
Having a catcher, hey, bring all the catchers. Because we have a problem with that. And Dylan Lesko, who, as a person that does not follow prospect baseball day in, day out, I had heard of that name.
Right.
So that was pretty cool. The guy can't throw strikes. Cannot throw.
That's why he's in low A. A lot of these prospects that were acquired are not going to be major league ready till 26, 27.
And he's got the stuff. I saw a tweet that was kind of funny. He's like, Dylan Lesko has been in professional baseball for 2 years. The last time he threw strikes was in high school. If you see the numbers, you understand that tweet, but the stuff could be there. And if there's one place in the whole wide world where you could take a guy that you give him $100 to throw a strike and he still can't, and then suddenly he can find it, Tampa Bay Rays baseball. That's where you find it. That's where you can get developed if you're a pitcher. So I think that's the right move. But that was the one that got me like, oh, damn, that's I was surprised.
Yeah, I was surprised just based on Lesko ranked as the Padres' number 3 prospect, Bush the number 8 prospect, Gonzalez the number 12 prospect in their respective system for a journeyman setup man who the Rays have transformed. It'd be really interesting to see if the guys acquired in this deal do more for the Rays than the guys acquired in the Blake Snell deal from a couple years ago.
Thank you.
That would be really funny to see. That's the other risk you take. We can look at, the Rays have this many top 100 prospects, this many top 10 prospects, however you want to quantify it, but it is no sure thing. But I think the Rays are going with the power numbers. We acquire enough guys. Hopefully 20% of them can turn into something.
Remember on Friday when hashtag seal clappers were saying, don't pay attention to the rankings. They don't get updated throughout the season. We did not get fleeced on the Randy Arozarena trade. It's fantastic, the return that we got. Not 24 hours later, I don't know, Jason Adam gets traded. And now it's like, look at that. We got the number 3 prospect, 8 and 12. We fleeced them. People, get your story straight. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say on the Randy Arozarena, oh, the rankings don't matter. And then 24 hours later, when you see the return for Jason Adam, be like, oh my God, look at all those top ranking prospects that we got. Like, come on, pick a lane, people. You can't be a hypocrite. Like, your tweets are out there. We can see them. So that was my only frustration with the fandom this weekend. But look, it's after venting for a little bit, which we've done for 17 minutes.
Yes.
Let's cool head prevails. You can see where this organization is, why this organization started to make these moves, besides the financial aspect, which is definitely a very big factor in this company. You are seeing players underperform. You have a lot of teams ahead of you, and you have a lot of teams that think that they can make a move, such as the Cubs, who are last in their division.
Right. That was kind of shocking, honestly.
Yeah, it is. And, maybe they're getting more prepared for 2025 than 2024, but regardless, they're buying. And this was a seller's market. And the Rays feel really good where they are pitching-wise. And they said, okay, we can make some move. We can replenish the farm. The only issue that I have is, man, not a lot of AA, AAA guys.
No.
It's just like low A, high A guys, which they're not sure things. So many things can happen, Kevin, from low A, high A to making the majors. If you make the majors.
Right. That is a big if. And the other thing that stings about these deals is that pretty much all of these guys were well liked in clubhouse staples. We heard about Zach Eflin, Jason Adam, Isaac Paredes. We know Randy had the big personality that probably got in the way. I could talk more on that in my sources that I have that I put out on the Twitter X machine. But
you were dropping bomb tweets this weekend.
Again, that is not necessarily the reason that Randy Arozarena was traded. I was just speaking what was told to me, that Randy and Yandy didn't get along because their wives didn't get along, and it was something to the effect of one or the other was not invited to one or the other's birthday party. Jeez. Something to that effect. And you know I'll just throw, hey, I didn't tweet this out, but I'll go ahead and throw out the other nuggets. The other nugget is Wander, guilty, innocent, whatever happens, he will never play in a Rays uniform again. Other nugget is Yandy. Oh my gosh, Yandy might be traded for all we know. He would consistently get on Wander for showing up late to the ballpark, and Wander was known for driving his very expensive Mercedes SUV on the interstate well over 100 miles per hour to try to get to the ballpark and try not to be so late. Yeah, he was so late. So that's all I got.
I loved Yandy, and then when you told me that on the weekend, when I got that text saying Yandy used to chew out Wander, I got so much more love and affection for Yandy Diaz. I didn't think I could have more love and affection for Yandy, but after that story, I'm like, yes, what I would give to be a fly on the wall to hear Yandy just chew out Wander. Yes. Oh, I'd pay money.
Yeah,
I'd pay a subscription. Gosh darn it, to see that.
Right. Yeah. So that's all I have. And you know, it kind of makes sense when you look beyond everything and say, well, Randy and Yandy had that altercation in the parking lot a couple years ago. Randy struggling this season. Yandy being absent from the team. I mean, I don't know how much of that stuff is related. I'm just telling you the brief snippet of what was informed to me was that there was a rift between those two, and I'll just leave it at that. So,
yeah. But Twitter, when you say I love pancakes, Twitter says, why the bleep do you hate waffles, man?
Exactly.
Huh? What did waffles ever do to you? Huh?
Yeah.
Look at this guy hating waffles for no reason at all. This freaking jerk off. Yeah.
That's all right. We have more to discuss on this episode, but first we have to tell you about SupplyHouse. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business, and talk to a real person every time. So that's why you need to join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. So I had asked the question. I know we kind of went off on a tangent there for just a moment, but the deal you like the most, Jason Adam in the return, deal you like the least, what was it? Besides all of them.
I think it would be the Isaac one, just because I mean, this guy was under team control since till 2027. For those that are saying he was blocking Junior, no, he was not. No, he was not. Because a guy who hits 30 bombs is an all-star and has already shown that he's got versatility on the field.
What other fan base outside of the Rays fan base would say that an all-star is blocking a prospect.
Yeah, and yet hashtag seal clappers.
And not just like an all-star. Like, okay, if it was Joey Wendell, I get it. Okay, he gets
Right.
the courtesy all-star. But this is a guy who has been very, very good the last couple of years.
And has shown up at second, has shown up at first. And you have the audacity to tell me that he's blocking Junior. No, you put Junior at third, and now you said, you know what? Let's do Isaac at second and or first. Oh, what about Yandy? Well, Yandy, I guess you're staying healthy by going into the DH, and then sometimes you're going to play first base. And when you do that, then we're going to put Isaac at second, and then hey, Brendan Lau, you're not playing at second base today. You're going DHing. Whatever, you make it work. So whoever is feeding you the Junior was blocked by Isaac, they had to make this trade. Now they did not.
Right.
Now they did not.
They just took advantage of, like you said, a seller's market, and there aren't many other sellers available. So the Rays are like, we'll be the sellers, and we'll try to maximize our value here, when and wherever we can get it. Hey, you've already traded these other pieces. Might as well blow it all up at this point. I mean, honestly, what's Paredes going to do for you? He's not going to make you single-handedly go 35-21 the rest of the way.
Guess what? Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout together can make you go to the playoffs. So yeah, Isaac can't do that. I'm thinking with the Phil Maton and Aaron Savale trade, that gave them an inkling of like, oh, we could score big here, folks.
Oh yeah,
with what we've gotten calls about.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. Again, you understand the move financially, unfortunately. It's not like they can't pay Randy Arozarena. It's not like they can't pay Isaac. They most certainly can, folks. Don't ever buy that they can't do. They can. Right. They're just choosing not to. That's their budget. That's their hard line. They can't do it. They don't want to do it. So that's what it is. You understand it. You understand the financials of it. You understand that in order to become always relevant and always in the hunt for the playoffs, they have to do this roster churning. What you hope, besides the fact that these prospects, at least some of them hit, what you hope is that you no longer have to do this type of baseball strategy in the front office when you have money with the new stadium, because that's why. I mean, you're getting these new in the stadium with the promise of, hey, we're going to be getting in some more money. We're going to be playing in a bigger pool.
That's the hope of the Marlins.
Exactly. The Marlin fans are saying like, hey, we heard that before. It didn't really work out that way.
Exactly. 100%. Maybe for an off season where you go big and then you're back to where you've always been before.
BT Dubs. We cannot leave this episode without Randy Arozarena, what he did on Friday night, and with his family, his crying wife, because again, these are people, okay? When you say like, well, his thing is a 23rd percentile, shut up. He's a human being. He's not a stat point. What he did there to show up with his fans, say hello, take pictures, shake hands, watch his boys for one last time, play the game. That was one of the coolest things I have ever seen a professional athlete do. That is above and beyond what we have in our human level of what do sports players do for their fandom. Like, we don't even have that. He went up that standard. Like, very cool of Randy. It just shows you how much of a fan he understands the fan. He likes the fan. Very cool move.
Yeah, it was awesome. In fact, I was at the game and I experienced that moment. He was actually in the same row as me, but different section. And there was a point where everybody started standing up like, who's that? Who's that? It's Randy. And then before you know it, adults, kids, everybody is flocking to him for autographs. And people around me were just like, let him be, let him enjoy the moment. And it got to the point where it was becoming a mess and police had to escort him to elsewhere in the ballpark. But the fact that he sat among the common folk was pretty awesome, even though he was surrounded by his entourage. He does have a large entourage, folks. I did learn that. But no, that was a really, really special moment, and definitely not going to forget it. I did snatch a really bad picture of Randy. As I was walking by, I mean, there's people standing all over the place, so it's hard to get a nice shot there, but that is definitely something to behold. Last thing, you mentioned the Paredes trade, not being a huge fan of it. I am thinking along the lines of Zach Eflin. I did not like the fact that he was traded in division to the Orioles, especially when Eflin has been so successful against the Orioles. So this just bolsters the Orioles for this year and next year. And there may be a point where the Orioles say, hey, we love what you're doing on the field, in the clubhouse. We're going to give you an extension. So you're going to see Zach Eflin do damage against the team he's been with the last year and a half. And it just makes the Orioles stronger now and in the future. And it could be the difference that helps them win a World Series this year. They've got Burns, they've got Grayson Rodriguez, and now they've got Zach Eflin. You got that 1-2-3 punch and some other guys after that. And I would have thought, look, I don't know much of anything about these prospects. I just know their rankings. But it appears on the surface that the Rays got a quote unquote better return for Jason Adam than Zach Eflin, which is a little bit surprising to me. So
yeah, and especially because like in division, you would expect a premium to be paid.
Yeah, a premium. That was the thing. That was my point. But I guess if you're also hurting the Yankees at the same time, although there's rumors that the Rays and Yankees are working out a deal for Pete Fairbanks. So
yeah, so strap in, folks. It's not over. It's not over. Something big could happen. Hopefully, Zach Eflin doesn't become a Nate Eovaldi situation, but it's going to. And then Fairbanks to the Yankees. That would
yet, but those are the heavier rumors.
Right. It has not happened. It's just been rumored. But if that were to happen, I think helping out the Yankees in any way, shape, or form should be outlawed.
Sacrilege.
It should, like, you should not be listening to anything that Brian Cashman has to say. And I know before the seal clappers come, like, you can take away these prospects or whatever. No. You have 28 other teams that you can talk to. Okay. Yeah. I'd rather deal with the Red Sox, to be quite honest with you, than the Yankees.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. So buckle up, because Fairbanks might not be for long. D-Lau might not be for long. I mean, we've heard about Rosario and Armstrong and Poche. Look, I expect several more moves before the trade deadline is over. Just going to throw that out there.
So fire sale, baby.
Yeah, fire sale season. That's where we're at. Enjoy it if you can. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.